So I keep getting requests to cover this story. 3 Kansas City Chiefs fans, they were found deceased inside their friend's home. Now, I was a little hesitant covering this story because I'm not a true crime type of guy. I'm more of a strange, bizarre, mysterious type of YouTuber now. Strange things going on inside airports and airplanes that might be connected to demonic possession. Then we have aliens and UFOs. And then on top of that, I like to talk about cryptozoology. But this particular story here continues to get more and more strange the more information that comes out. Now, I'm going to give a little backstory because this is the first time I'm covering this story. But on January 7th, the Chiefs took on the Los Angeles Chargers, a game in which the Chiefs won 13-12. Little side quest here, but am I the only one that feels the NFL has appeared to become more and more rigged? I guarantee you, and you heard it here first on Minutes of Horror, the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl and Travis is going to propose to Tay-Tay. Guarantee that's exactly how it's going to play out, but I am getting a little sidetracked here. But yes, as I was saying, to celebrate the Chiefs game, a man, Jordan Willis, hosted a watch party for him and his friends in his Kansas City home on a night when the high was 41 degrees and the low was 42 degrees. So needless to say, it was cold in Kansas City. But needless to say, what should have been a normal night watching the Chiefs play was anything but. As the night progressed and after the Chiefs had won the game, Willis claims he went to bed but told his friends they could hang around if they please. So he did, he went to bed, or so he said. And it wasn't until January 9th, a whole 2 days later, when the fiance of one of the men came looking for him because he never came home, that the bodies of these friends were discovered. The fiance went to the friend's home, broke into the house. She found that her fiance passed away. She found his body on the back porch of this friend's house. But not just her fiance, but also the other 2 friends who went over to watch this Kansas City Chiefs game. So like I said, all 3 friends mysteriously were found deceased inside this home. The 3 friends were 37-year-old David Harrington, 38-year-old Ricky Johnson, and 36-year-old Clayton McGeeney. Now, here's where things get even stranger if they were not already strange enough. But the owner of the house, Willis, he had no idea that his friends were deceased in his backyard. He does not know anything about what occurred that night or those past couple days. Now, what's bizarre is the fact that he is aware that the cars were still parked in front of his house. Well, Willis, his response was he didn't think it was unusual for his friends to left their cars there overnight. And that's fine, that is more than fine. Of course, we have a football game, friends getting together, I'm sure they were drinking. You don't want anybody drinking and driving. He also believed that he didn't think anybody was looking for his friends. But like I said, yes, I understand you don't want them drinking and driving, but we're talking about their cars were parked in front of his home for over the course of 2 days. Makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Did Willis not leave his home for this course of 2 days? Did he just stay in his bedroom? Did he not once see the front of his home over this course of 2 days and notice that his friends' cars were still there? So as you can see, this story reeks of suspicion and mystery. But not just that, this story happens to get even more bizarre. So one may ask, did the fiance or any of the loved ones of these 3 deceased men, did they try to contact Willis when they never returned home? Well, they did. They were frantically trying to reach out to him because, of course, he was the last person to be seen with them. Well, come to find out, his response as to why he never spoke to any of the family members that were frantically trying to reach him was because he was asleep on the couch for 2 days. That is right. He was asleep on his couch for a whole 2 days. Now, I've had some wild parties in my time. Matter of fact, I still do have some wild parties. But I can never say that I or any of my friends have fell asleep on anybody's couch or my couch for a whole 2 days. Matter of fact, I can't even say that I slept for a whole 24 hours after being plastered. So while yes, I do know that everybody's different, and I know some people are going to say, well, I've been knocked out for a whole 72 hours after drinking, this just adds more to the strangeness of this story. So of course Willis had a lawyer up because none of this makes any sense whatsoever. And his lawyer came out and made a statement saying he was asleep. He was asleep on the couch. The last memory he has is them leaving out the front door. He doesn't know what happened. He absolutely has no idea what happened to his friends or how they passed away inside his house. This is by far up there with some of the worst excuses I have ever heard in my life. And I just did a recent video how the FBI had to raid and shut down an observatory that was watching the sun because a man had illegal images of children and illegal videos of children on his laptop, a janitor that was working there. But not just that, the FBI also had to evacuate the entire town. And on top of that, every other observatory across the world also had to be shut down. Not just the observatories, but also NASA as well, all on the same day. So why was everything shut down and an entire town evacuated? Well, like I said, the excuse they rolled with is that this janitor had illegal images and videos on his laptop. That is what they gave us, and that's the narrative that stuck. So this man Willis, given this excuse that he absolutely has no idea what happened to his friends over the course of 2 days because he was asleep on his couch for the course of 2 days, is not the worst excuse I've ever heard. It's not the weirdest, but it's definitely in the top 5. But I'm not even finished here, because this story gets even weirder. Now, one would think that this story has a slam dunk suspect. Now, I'm not saying Willis is guilty, but given everything that we do know, he would be a prime suspect. Like, make no mistake about it, everything that we have learned so far when it comes to this story, this man is a number 1 suspect. He's the prime suspect. Now, I'm not 100% sure if this is coming directly from investigators because this statement was made by Willis's lawyer, John Picerno. So I'm still looking into this to find any articles or any concrete evidence that this is coming from the investigators. But John Picerno, Willis's lawyer, stated that the Kansas City investigators said there was no foul play and that they were not investigating his clients in connection with the bizarre and inexplicable deaths. Now, here's the only thing that makes sense, and the only theory that I can think of is that maybe narcotics were involved and these men overdosed. Maybe there was fentanyl involved and they overdosed, because fentanyl is a real bad problem across the world. You can even take a hit of the Mary J. it be laced, and that would even end your life. But I'm just not buying the fact that this man, Willis, was asleep on his couch for a whole 2 days. He never once checked his phone, and he never once saw that his friends' cars were still parked in front of his house. I just can't buy that. Somebody has to make this make sense. Seriously, make it make sense. Eventually, you had to get up to go to the bathroom, so you never once checked your phone when you had to get up to use the bathroom. Also, the fiance broke into the house. As she was going through the house, did she not once see Willis sleeping on the couch? Where was Willis when she broke into the house? Now, it looks like I did get a little bit of a confirmation when it comes to what the lawyer stated. The lawyer said there is no foul play. Investigators do not suspect it. They are not treating this case as a homicide investigation. Now, Kansas City Police Captain Jake Pacina stated this case is 100% not being investigated as a homicide. News agencies have been trying to reach out to the Kansas City Police, but they are not responding because I guess that statement made no sense, because the toxicology report has still yet to come out. Nobody really knows if these men were taking narcotics because, like I said, the toxicology report has yet to come out. And of course, we can clearly rule out carbon monoxide poisoning. So I have been out of true crime for a while. I can't remember the last true crime video that I created. So is this normal that they would completely rule out homicide before they even get the toxicology reports? 3 men passing away in a very bizarre manner, and we have an even more bizarre excuse. But the lawyer, Picerno, is trying to add another excuse on top of a very bizarre excuse. And he is saying it was really cold. You know, they could have gone out to get fresh air. They could have gone out to smoke a cigarette. Maybe the bathroom was occupied. They could have gone out and used the bathroom. That's right. What this lawyer is trying to say is that all 3 men passed away from hypothermia in the backyard of a house they were staying in. Okay, I take it back. Given everything we know and everything we were told so far, I will put these excuses in the top 3 worst excuses of all time. Nothing is beating the laptop excuse, but this is top 3. Temperatures on January 7th and the 8th mostly stayed in the low 30s before plummeting into the teens on the afternoon of January 9th, according to Weather Underground, a weather website. Now yes, make no mistake about it, the cold can be very dangerous. I was born and raised in New Jersey for 20 years, and if you don't respect the cold, if you're going out there when it's in the single digits, even in the low teens, it can be harmful to your health. You have to be properly prepared for the cold. Now, New Jersey is a crazy state. I don't know about other states, but I have even witnessed people going out in blizzards in shorts. I am a person that easily gets cold. I hate the cold. And it would drive me absolutely crazy watching somebody wear a t-shirt and shorts in a blizzard. Anybody from up north, anybody that has dealt with the snow will know or have seen somebody wearing summer clothing in a blizzard. Hypothermia is not something that's instantly going to take you out. It's not. It's a process. Your body will warn you that, hey, you have to get somewhere warm and soon. Even if all these men were drunk, how drunk do you have to be to not realize that you have to hop right back into the house because it's freezing? What a weird thing to even say and insinuate. It was cold outside, so what? They're in the backyard. They can easily go back into the house. Now, were they locked out of the house by mistake? They could have easily just broken back into the house like the fiance did, had their lives been on the line, had hypothermia been kicking in, had they been so cold they couldn't take it anymore, and his friend Willis was not answering them. Just break right back into the house and go into the house and pay for whatever damages later. Your life is more important. Bust the door down. I mean, these are 3 pretty big guys. Picerno insisted that his client, who works as a HIV jab development scientist, would have done anything in his power to come to the aid of Harrington, Johnson, and McGeeney. Willis could not be reached out for comment and had moved out of the rental property, scrubbed his social media accounts after the tragedy. Friends of the victims had taken to social media to contend that Willis was partially responsible for the strange deaths, which seemed to raise as many questions as the frozen bodies found in the latest season of True Detective. So I guess this article is saying how it's weird how Hollywood, how this season of True Detective has the same scenario going on as this group of friends. But we always oddly see that with Hollywood. There will have been a weird, bizarre story that has taken place, and yet, oddly enough, Hollywood would have created a movie or TV series based on this weird event around the same time. People are even connecting the Miami Mall creature incident back to a season of Stranger Things because the kids in Stranger Things had to fight an alien creature inside the mall using firecrackers. And we all know the story behind the Miami Mall creature incident is that, well, there was aliens inside the Miami Mall, but one of the narratives that came out is that there were teenagers using firecrackers inside the mall. So people are putting 2 and 2 together. So Hollywood has always been weird like that. So of course the parents and the family members of these 3 men are extremely suspicious of Willis. They are not buying any narrative that has come out so far. Ricky Johnson's father, Ricky Johnson Sr., has stated that his son was not irresponsible and would not have gone outside in the snow without a coat to freeze along with his friends. He believes that Willis drugged them, dragged them outside, and waited for 2 days to call the police. But of course, Willis's attorney states that that claim is ridiculous. It's trash. Now, the father of Johnson states he may have done some narcotics and stuff in the past, but he does not believe that all 3 men did narcotics and just fell over deceased in the backyard. So yes, going back to what I was saying, it's very possible that narcotics were at play here. It's very possible these men were using narcotics. And it's not outside the realm of possibility that these men may have overdosed together, as bizarre as it sounds. We are in a day and age where fentanyl is running rampant. Also, things can get laced. But what I'm just not buying is that we have a friend who claims he had his headphones on the whole time, was sleeping on a couch for 2 days, did not once get up, did not check his phone, did not once get up to use the bathroom, and did not find it odd that his friends' cars were still parked in front of his house for 2 days. Johnson's father continues to state, "I'm not going to say that during a game he didn't have some drinks, but he wasn't irresponsible, that he was going to go outside and freeze," he claimed of his son, whose coat was left inside the rental house where his pals had watched the game. His father is saying the same exact thing that I'm saying by saying, "You're talking about 3 grown men. If they were freezing like they said, he could have just easily kicked out a window to get into the house." Now, here's something I don't understand. The victim's relatives said that when police officers arrived to the house, Willis met them at the door in his boxers with an empty wine glass in his hand. But Willis's attorney told the news outlet that the stemware contained water and had been refilled after being used to drink wine the night before. So Willis wasn't asleep for the whole 2 days as he was claiming. Even the person that wrote this article happened to catch the discrepancy, because they stated in a previous interview with the Post, Picerno said his client was asleep on the couch while the victim's relatives spent 2 days frantically trying to find them. See that? That was a major slip up. How is he drinking wine on Monday if he was supposed to have been asleep? Now, of course, nobody believes the excuse that he was sleeping for a whole 2 days, but that was their excuse. And now there's a major hole in that excuse. But the holes in this story get even bigger. The mystery deepens because, come to find out, there was a 5th friend that was there that night. This 5th mysterious friend that was there is actually giving some conflicting information that opposes what Willis and his attorney are stating. This information does not go hand in hand with what Willis and his attorney are saying. Now, Willis stated that he went to bed that night and he never saw his friends out. But this 5th mysterious friend that remains unnamed says that's not true, that Willis actually saw him out, that Willis was still up with his other friends and they were watching Jeopardy. So at 12 o'clock at night, when this 5th mysterious friend was leaving, Willis never went to bed. This 5th friend also stressed that he was not the last person to see Harrington, Johnson, and McGeeney alive before they froze in Willis's yard and went unnoticed for 2 days. This 5th friend lawyered up and he hired an attorney because he says he was there the whole night. He arrived at 7 p.m. and left around midnight. So like I said, this 5th friend contradicts Picerno's statement, which insisted that Willis saw his 4 friends out at the end of the night and went to sleep on the couch. Now, like I said, the family members of these 3 men were frantically trying to reach out to Willis. But Willis and his attorney state that Willis never received any phone calls or texts. The only messages that Willis received from any family members or friends was via Facebook, through Facebook Messenger. It would be very interesting to know Willis's Facebook activity, if he logged into Facebook, and if he logged into Facebook and was active during the time he was receiving these messages. This 5th mysterious friend states he was actually receiving actual texts, phone texts from McGeeney's fiance and also Johnson's mother asking about their loved ones. Upon getting these texts, this 5th mysterious friend went ahead and texted not only Willis but Johnson as well. So this 5th friend is stating that he did indeed text Willis. He wasn't reaching out to him through Facebook Messenger, but through the actual phone. Now, news agencies were trying to reach out to Picerno, Willis's lawyer, to explain the discrepancy, but Picerno refused to comment. Now, this lawyer, Picerno, is not a good lawyer because he is leaving a lot of holes in this story, because he conducted an interview with News Nation last week. Picerno said Willis left his home sporadically on January 8th and January 9th, only to backtrack on that Monday, and say that Willis has only been in and out of his bedroom. He clarifies with News Nation by saying, "What I meant to say on News Nation is that he left, he was sleeping, and he left his bedroom sporadically." I guess what he's trying to say is that he was sleepwalking or using the bathroom here and there. I don't know. But like I said, there are a lot of holes in this story, a lot of conflicting information. And the fact that police are not investigating this further as a homicide is also very, very weird. This story is very interesting to say the least, and I will continue to follow up on this story. I do feel horrible for all the families that are involved because they are not getting a straight answer whatsoever. But like I said, I will continue to follow up on this story. But in any case, thank you so much for watching. If you like this channel and you want to see more, please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, please like, as any engagement does help the channel grow. Once again, thank you so much for your support.